Welcome to everyone. And this is our Tuesday morning Mind the Moment gathering brought to you by Harvard Pilgrim Healthcare and Tufts Health Plan. And this is a place where we invite experienced mindfulness instructors to speak with us about what mindfulness means to them and to discuss as a community how we can incorporate these practices into our daily lives. I'm Suzanne Rowe Palacino, and I am absolutely delighted to be here with Christine O'Shaughnessy, one of our Harvard Pilgrim Healthcare's esteemed meditation instructors. Good morning, Christine.
Morning. Happy to be here.
Yeah, so nice to have you here this morning.
Thank you.
So for folks that are new to our program, a special welcome to you. I'll explain the whole process so you know exactly how things will flow, and a nice welcome as well for our regulars. We're so happy to have this lovely community together as always. So we'll start today out with a question for the group, and then Christine will share a few moments of discussion on a theme, and then she'll take us right into at least a 12-minute guided practice. And after that, we'll have some time for discussion. So if you go to the bottom of your Zoom screen and open up your chat, and then at the bottom of the chat, you can click the blue drop-down menu that says hosts and panelists and choose everyone. And everyone can see your comments as you share them. So with that, Christine, what question do you have for us this morning?
So my question is, what are the two most common mental states that you experience, or mind states? So what are the two most common mental states or mind states that you experience? And this may be reflecting on what arises in your practice, if you have a consistent practice, or just what you notice as you go through each day. What is your mind inclined to land on? Joy, gratitude, anger or angst, sadness, peacefulness, right? Just we sometimes tend to have an awareness of where our mind lands. And if not, it invites you to be aware of it, right? Which is what this practice is about, waking up to notice all things and what is the type of mind that we have. And I invite people to do this when you wake up in the morning, just kind of settling in and asking yourself, okay, do I have a happy mind, exhausted mind, overwhelmed mind? What type of mind do I have right now as I begin my day?
Yeah. And this could be even just this morning. How are you, what kind of mental state you're feeling that you're in right now? Yeah, I have to say I do feel every day a sense of gratitude. That's something, and lately I've been feeling a little unsettled. So when I feel that way, I find that I do take more breaths, but when I'm feeling more unsettled, I kind of guide my mind to a little bit of a gratitude practice because I think it helps me settle a little bit more.
Mm.
Mm.
That's great. Yeah, for me, I notice I rotate between waking up joyful, content, happy, and that can be where my mind is all day. And then there are other days where it's overwhelmed. And one of the things to look at is what causes these states to arise and what causes them to pass away. So, Suzanne, like you said, gratitude, it may not pass away fully, but allows you to settle. For me, I notice there's a pattern when I wake up overwhelmed. It's an old reoccurring theme that my mind has this habitual tendency to kind of go back to, oh, I feel overwhelmed when that arises in my mind. And so it's just to have an awareness of this, right? I personally would rather have a mind that's inclined towards joy and happiness and this sense of equilibrium. And that is what my practice provides me, you know?
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. So there's some really wonderful states that people are sharing here.
Boy.
Flow when I'm working and joy, planning and more planning, two of the same, wonder and impatience, rumination and planning for what's next, angst, but also peace, curiosity, best when writing and being creative. Not so good when it involves what ifs or worrying and planning. Yeah. Yeah. And, I'm noticing people have just a little bit of, something that may be tough and something that may bring some ease.
Mhm.
I woke up feeling joyful, but moved to angst when long list of to-dos popped into my mind.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes anxious anticipation of the next thing I encounter, sometimes peace or optimism.
Mm. And it's also just about being gently aware of what this influence has, the influence of these mind states or mental states has on you and the way that you approach your day, right? How do you behave? How do you approach everything that comes your way? So,
Yeah.
so much insight in learning when we can really rest in what's the state of my mind and how is it affecting me
Mm.
instead of just staying stuck in it in unawareness. And noticing what are the stories or beliefs that you're telling yourself about it, right? Because that can cause it to just continue. I think about with planning, when we get caught in planning thoughts, until we acknowledge the apprehension underlying them, they'll just continue, right? So maybe there's a story behind it, and then that story fuels more planning. And this is the gift of the practice, is just noticing the repetition of this and how it becomes our default mode patterning and we get stuck.
Mm.
And the gift of mindfulness is waking up to just seeing it and going, oh, right, here this is again. I have a choice.
Mhm.
Where do I want to incline my mind and my heart?
Right. Yeah. And we can notice as well how these emotions feel in our bodies. And our bodies can tell us, I mean, is this a good way for me to be, or is it not? And, the tension in your shoulders or your neck can tell you many times what it really is for you. So,
Yeah.
yeah, really good question.
Thanks. So would
Yeah.
this be a good time to maybe start a practice, or do you want to wait for more people to respond?
No, I think we can go right into practice. People
Great.
can share as they feel they would like to. So good timing.
All right, perfect. Okay, so just getting comfortable in a posture that feels supportive for you today. If you would like to stand, you're welcome to stand. Have a seat. If you're at home, maybe you'd like to lie on the floor, whatever feels appropriate to you. And eyes can be opened or closed. However you want to keep your eyes is a choice. If you choose to keep your eyes open, I just suggest having them downward and soft so you're not distracted by the screen. Or you're welcome to stare beyond the screen if you'd like to just have a point of view in front of you. And beginning by just taking a few rounds of deep breath. I always like to start with some intentional breathing, and then we'll settle into the natural breath. So we're going to begin by just taking a deep breath in through your nose. And as you exhale, blowing out through the mouth, like you're blowing through a straw, or like you're saying the word ha, feeling your feet connecting to the floor. Taking another deep breath in. Exhale through the mouth, lengthening your exhale. Feeling your shoulders begin to soften. Taking another deep, full, nourishing breath in. And as you exhale, beginning to connect with the weight of the arms and the legs, allowing them to feel heavy and at peace. One more deep, full, nourishing breath in, lengthening that inhale, filling the heart, chest, and lungs with breath. exhale, intentionally blowing out the air, lengthening the exhale, allowing the body to soften, release, and relax. And gently releasing that deep breathing technique, and begin to rest in the natural awareness of your breath, feeling the breath coming in and going out. Breathing in and breathing out. And if it's helpful, you can pay attention to the breath, the body, feeling the weight of the body, connecting with a sense of gravity. Or it may be easier for you to connect with a touch point like your hands, feeling the tips of your fingers, soles of your feet. Or being aware of the eyes, allowing your eyes to soften. Noticing where your lips meet. Connecting with the meditation object of your choice. That place that you can return to when the mind wanders. And gently beginning to let go of all the activities of your morning and what it took to arrive here. And releasing anticipation of what's to come in this session and in the rest of your day ahead. Arriving fully in this moment on this next breath, coming in and going out. Allowing whatever's arising to be there just as it is. You may notice sound, sensation in the body, or certain mind states. And making a soft mental note when a certain mind state arises. Notice what may have caused that mind state to arise. Notice how it's fleeting in nature. It comes and goes. Notice if you're able to gently release the thought and return to the breath of the body. Or noticing if there's a sense of attachment to the mind state, clinging, resistance. Our practice is simply to be aware. And noticing what's arriving right now. The mind state resting in joy, gratitude, appreciation, or planning, worry, fatigue. Maybe it's dull and foggy. Notice the nature of the mind without judgment, and return to the breath or the body. Feeling the body, beginning to gently bring the awareness to the soles of the feet, noticing the legs, the torso, feeling your arms, shoulders, neck, and head. Noticing your ears and opening to sound, and tracking the sound of the bells all the way to the end. If your mind goes into thought, gently return it to the sound of the bells. And when you're ready, gently coming back, opening your eyes if they were closed. And if it feels comfortable, just moving in whatever way feels supportive, maybe doing a gentle twist in your chair, or stretching your arms up overhead and coming back. All right. Welcome back, everyone.
Thank you so much, Christine.
You're welcome. So I'm curious, what do people notice? Some of those mind states for me can be so sticky in nature that I just keep going back to them, right? That story of the second arrow. The more that
Mhm.
I keep going back to it, right? I'm the only one that's suffering from it. Can I turn my mind towards a mind state that's resting in ease and peacefulness and joy?
Yeah, I have to say that when I was feeling this feeling again of unsettledness, I went back to what you were saying about what is the story behind it.
Mm.
And I really like looking at that because, like what is said is sometimes it's not true.
Mhm.
Sometimes it's just something that is a habit pattern that we might think about as, oh, that's what I'm thinking. Of course it's true. Well, it's not. um, so I like to kind of look at my mind state from that perspective. And also, um, sometimes I have my feet up on the rung of the chair, but I put my feet down on the ground and was, connecting to the earth
Mm.
in that way. So that was helpful as well.
Yeah. I too like to have my feet always connecting to the earth when I'm practicing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Jennifer said she had a sticky situation, a busy mind, and was able to come back to her anchor. So good. You found something that was able to settle you. So that's what it's all about. Consistently coming back, right?
Yeah. And just being mindful of the distractions, what it is. And I'm curious, just inviting everybody that this week to notice, even if you keep a post-it note, what's your mind states during the day? And just for this week, noticing on Friday, if every day you log it, maybe morning and night, sometimes when we write it down, we may not even remember that that was the nature of our mind. But when we look at the whole week, it'd be interesting to see what was the mental state of my mind for this week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And maybe how it evolves
Yeah,
throughout the week, you know,
yeah,
depending on the way that we connect with it.
yes, yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Christine.
You're welcome.
You know, good reminders for all of us to connect in that way and to notice. And like we said, everything is welcome, that we see how the body is feeling with those mental states, and we find a way to come back and to find a sense of ease and whatever we can do.
Thank
So yeah, so happy to have you here.
you.
Yeah,
Thank
thank you, Gail. Yeah, and we will be back tomorrow morning for our Zoom meeting format. So happy to see you back tomorrow morning. And we're so happy to have all of you here this morning with us. So it's nice to connect first thing and during the week and to set our week in this direction. So thank you, Christine, for helping us to do that.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Yeah, and we will see everyone soon. Have a good rest of your day.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye.